Okay, so today I'm going down to the Indianapolis area to buy a guitar from a guy, and I'm really excited about it because it's a rare Epiphone, a limited run color, and I'm either gonna love it and keep it or maybe flip it because can't hardly find any of them online right now. And I also noticed online that there's another rare Epiphone at Guitar Center down there, so I'm going to try that out while I'm down as well. Days like this are few and far between when you're on like a journey to get a certain guitar. I remember 2 days of my life that were kind of like this. One time I went with my buddy up to Sweetwater in Fort Wayne, and I bought a black 72 Tele Custom reissue, and that was a really cool day. Sweetwater treated me like royalty that day. They showed me around the whole place, and then I wanted to check the different weights of the guitars that they had. They had 3 of the same model back in boxes in the warehouse, and they were nice enough to pull them out and let me try all of them. And I picked the one that had the nice weight, and it had, there was like aging yellow on the neck, so I picked the one that I thought looked good as well. And the one that I liked came out of the box with a case that was kind of whopper jawed. It was kind of bent, so they gave me one of the nice cases from the other one. So that was a really cool experience buying that guitar that day. And then the other thing I can think about is when I went up with a couple friends to Chicago Music Exchange, planning to buy a Duesenberg Bonneville, and I brought a Gibson guitar to sell them potentially and buy it. They did end up buying I had a Gibson L6S. It was a reissue of a 70s one, and it was a 2011 guitar, and it was made of all maple. It was really cool. It had awesome controls, but in the end, I think the all maple body, it just never sounded good and never rang out right. So I thought, do I want this guitar that doesn't stay in tune and doesn't quite sound right, or do I want to trade in and some gear and some cash and get a nice Duesenberg guitar, which those hold tuning really well. So I ended up selling that guitar that day and getting the Duesenberg guitar with no regrets. That was really cool being up there. The only downside of that day was we're at Chicago Music Exchange, and they told us that day that Tom Petty had died, so that was kind of sad. And apparently he had been there a couple months before at Chicago Music Exchange when he played his farewell tour through Wrigley Field. So that was a little damper on the day, but yeah. So that was 2017. And that Sweetwater trip, I think that was 2011. So anyway, special trips. Looking forward to this trip today to get that guitar and maybe try out one at Guitar Center. So we'll see how it goes. Well, here she is, and she looks really good. Looks way cooler than I thought it would look. And the photos online don't do that finish justice. It's got a great sparkle to it. It's a really nice looking guitar. It looks very Gretschy to me. Okay, so I just met the guy about buying the guitar, and it was phenomenal. It had an awesome sparkle blue finish, and the binding is like this cool pearl, and it's an Epiphone Riviera P93 limited edition color. It's called Chicago Blue, or sometimes called Royal Blue, I believe, online. But it's a 2015 guitar. Man, I picked it up and it played great. It's got a big speed. It sounded good. Didn't really sound like it was going to go out of tune when I used a big speed either. But everything just looked kind of pristine and right on it. The only thing about it is it had a couple of hairline cracks in the finish up by the nut on the neck. One of them is just real teeny on one side. The other side it was like a big enough crack in the finish that somebody had tried to sand it down. A luthier tried to sand it down and try to coat over that, but it just ended up being a bad idea because they couldn't match that sparkle blue finish. So it's kind of like a white splotch and little crack in the finish there. So originally I planned on maybe flipping this and selling it for more, but man, it looked and felt great, and it was an awesome blue color. So I'm pretty sure it's gonna stay with me and be played and cherished for solo gigs for a while. So yeah, thrilled to have bought the guitar. When I tried it out, it was really great. So now I'm gonna go meet somebody downtown, got an errand to run, and then I'd like to pop over to Guitar Center and check out. They've got an Epiphone Les Paul signature in sunburst finish that's from like the late 90s, and you don't see those pop up very often. I've got a gold one which I'm very happy with, but I thought it'd be kind of fun to try this one out and see how it plays. So that's what I'm gonna do next. I've done everything I set out to do today, and it's been a good day. I finished eating lunch and went to Guitar Center and Sam Ash. I haven't been to Guitar Center in at least 2 years, so it's kind of cool to see all the good guitar models that they actually had there, and was able to try out a few. The SG, the one with the sideways vibrola, or technically Les Paul, 61 Les Paul in cherry red. And they had that Epiphone Les Paul signature like mine, the sunburst one. The headstock had this kind of weird look to it. I don't know, just like a bad finish, kind of like a weird graininess, splotchiness to it. It should just be all black. So that didn't look very good. And the knobs were, I really loose and stuff. So it's kind of typical of those guitars. It's like 20 years old and it's an Epiphone, so you got to adjust a few things and that sort of thing. The SG with the vibrola, love the look of that guitar. It's got the best looking vintage cherry look I've ever seen. And it's just a cool, I like the whole size of the guitar. It just kind of feels small. But man, that sideways vibrola, even when you're not touching it, I feel like it's putting the guitar out of tune. So if you could find a way to latch everything down to get everything as tight as it could be on all parts of the vibrola, so it would just be like a stop tailpiece, that would be ideal, I think. But yeah, that's kind of a dream guitar if you can find out a way to keep it in tune. And then I think that's all I tried out at Guitar Center. I saw a lot of nice guitars there. A lot of the budget price Gretches have really great sparkle finishes. And the amp I played at Guitar Center was a Fender Bass Breaker. Couldn't really get a good sound out of it because I didn't want to crank it, but that's all right. I've been wanting to try one. It was okay. And then I went to Sam Ash, and I wasn't as excited about their selection, to be honest. They had the Fender Meteora, which I always wanted to try at Guitar Center, but I tried it out at Sam Ash. That was a nice feeling guitar. Nice punchy Fender sound, stays in tune, everything feels right about it. That was nice. Also picked up and messed with an Epiphone Hummingbird ukulele because I've been wanting to try one. That was really nice, but they're like $200. They're a little bit overpriced. And then I don't know. I think that's about it there. So had a good time going to guitar stores. It was kind of fun. Haven't been in a couple years. But all in all, it's been a good day. The Epiphone that I bought earlier today, the Riviera, really nice sparkle finish, and I'm looking forward to checking it out when I get home. But yeah, I got a really good deal on that, and I think it's gonna be a really good guitar. So yep, stay tuned for more, I guess. Maybe some photos. Oh, you know what? I absolutely want to do like a formal demo of that Riviera guitar, so I'm gonna do that. And I've got a few other guitars that I've owned for a while that I like to do demos on. So hopefully this winter I'm gonna get out maybe 4 demo videos, and looking forward to doing that. All right, that's it. Take care.